Up with KREM, the Coeur d'Alene School District making the decision not to require masks in schools. And now they're facing backlash from the community. This morning, why healthcare professionals in the community disagree.
And we're going to take you outside on this beautiful Friday morning and talk your weekend forecast. It might just have you wanting to hit the water.
The death toll from Ida continues to rise. More than 4 dozen deaths have been confirmed, along with a roughly 1,300-mile path stretch from the Gulf Coast to New England.
Hurricane Ida didn't care if you were a Democrat or a Republican, rural or urban. This destruction is everywhere.
Nearly 1 million homes and businesses in Louisiana are still without power.
Up with KREM begins now.
Well, good morning, everyone. So glad to have you here with us on this Friday morning. Gosh, feels so good to say Friday. TGIF. Thanks so much for being here with us this morning. We do have crews spread out to different parts of the region. Meteorologist Jeremy Legoo hanging out in studio, having a lot of fun. Mr. Dancing Queen, he's letting us know about the forecast all over the holiday weekend. And Channing Curtis is at downtown Spokane this morning talking about the historic Fox Theater celebrating its 90th birthday. And right now, Nicole Hernandez live in Coeur d'Alene to talk about the school board who made a big decision for students returning to the classroom next week. But let's kick things off with Channing. An iconic Spokane theater is celebrating its birthday today. The Fox Theater in downtown is having a 90th anniversary. Now, think about it. It has seen a lot in its history, including performances from Bing Crosby and Frank Sinatra, and there is a lot to celebrate this morning. So we are going to check in with Channing, who's there this morning, and tell us all about it. Channing, I know you're a big Christmas fan, so Bing Crosby, you were like, when you came to Spokane, you were like, I like that guy.
You know me, Tim. You know I love Christmas, but another little known fact about me, I also love music. So I'm so excited to be joined here now by the music director of the Spokane Symphony. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. I know you had to get up a little early. He actually caught a late flight in last night, so we were super lucky to have him on the show this morning. I had to trick him with like the promises of coffee and free cake, but that's actually happening already.
Yeah, I got my cake. I'm fine.
So now tell us a little bit about what it's like to be able to perform in such an iconic building.
It's an amazing thing. I mean, obviously, it's not just the history of Spokane isn't in this building, but it's like the history of America. It's all here. You see it in the decoration. And for me to stand on stage, to turn around and see a full hall and this space, it's indescribable.
So now, speaking of the space, so one of my co-anchors, Jeremy Legoo, wants to know, what is the best seat in the house?
Well, I can tell you, but it's hard to get. It's mine.
Ah, see?
It is really the best place because I'm standing right in front of the orchestra. I've got the best balance. It sounds fantastic. But I would say if you're in the hall, pretty much any seat is fantastic. The acoustic is great wherever you sit. It's really just a choice of how you want to see the orchestra and how you want to see the hall.
And you know what, like you can, it's probably hard for you guys to hear at home, but just listening to it and hear us talking, you can tell how balanced the sound is in here. It's really unbelievable.
Yeah, and it's just such a joy to have our own place to rehearse. We rehearse and perform in here. Most orchestras, certainly where I come from, they rehearse somewhere else and then go to a hall the day of a concert. So it's part of our instrument. It's part of the orchestra.
Absolutely. And so now you guys actually have a couple of concerts coming up to kind of kick off the season.
We do, yeah. So we're at Liberty Lake on Saturday and at the Pavilion on Monday with our Parks concerts. It's my first Parks concerts because last year we were supposed to do them. Of course, they got cancelled.
Yeah.
So I'm super excited to do these. You know, it's our little gift to the community every year. And it may be the first time some people hear the symphony, and I hope it encourages them to come and hear us here in our home.
Absolutely. And those concerts are free to the public, correct?
Yep,
so yeah, anybody can come on out, and anybody can come on out here today for the 90th celebration of the Fox Theater. This is going on from noon until 4 p.m. today. Like I mentioned, there's free cake and cookies, refreshments, but there's also self-guided tours and lots of things to purchase as far as memorabilia is concerned. So I will send things back to you guys in the studio from the Fox Theater. I'm Channing Curtis.
Sounds like a wonderful day. Well, before students enter classrooms, the Coeur d'Alene School Board voted in announcing changes to COVID-19 guidelines. They will not require masks and have no contact tracing or quarantine. Before that decision was made, more than 200 Idaho health officials sent a letter to the school board suggesting the opposite. This morning, Nicole Hernandez joining us live outside of Kootenai Health in Coeur d'Alene to tell us more about what's in that letter. Good morning, Nicole.
Yeah, good morning, Tim. Like you mentioned, I'm live right now outside of Kootenai Health, which you can see right behind me here. And this is where 210 workers here at Kootenai Health all came together to give a letter to the Coeur d'Alene School District. That was a combination of pediatricians, department leaders, board members, and other doctors all working together to send this letter. Basically, all of them asking for the Coeur d'Alene School District to have their students be masked up, have them social distance by 3 feet whenever possible, and get vaccinated. After the school board decision, though, none of those things will be required in Coeur d'Alene classrooms this year. This morning, the CDC is reporting an increase in COVID-19 cases in children. Leaders at Kootenai Health are concerned hospitals won't have enough beds or medical staff to properly treat a high number of kids that may become sick. Dr. Vanessa Carroll, the Director of Medical Pediatrics at Kootenai Health and the top signature on the letter to the school board, says the school's district guidelines could cause a sharp increase in COVID-19 cases and hospitalizations.
We can anticipate from the Coeur d'Alene School District alone, approximately 200 children will require hospitalization for COVID. About a third of those hospitalized actually need an intensive care. So about 60 are going to need to be admitted to a pediatric intensive care unit or PICU.
Now, right now, there are no mask mandates in place for Coeur d'Alene, Post Falls, Lakeland schools, and North Idaho College. And schools in CDA and Post Falls start on Tuesday. And right now, hospital staff is getting ready for this potential increase in COVID-19 cases. They say that we're told actually that they are reallocating space in their hospital specifically to be ready with more space for this potential uptick in COVID-19 in children. Live in Coeur d'Alene, I'm Nicole Hernandez.
Well, it is shaping up to be a beautiful day, and there in Coeur d'Alene, look at it. This is what it looks like over the top of Nicole. Nicole, a bit jealous of you this morning because it is a beautiful start to the day. Blue skies overhead and temperatures now on the rise. It says it is 51 here in Spokane, but looking around town, it looks like temperatures are starting to trend that way. Earlier this morning, they were all down in the 40s. We got a couple 40s still popping up there, but it is starting to warm up. 48 in Coeur d'Alene, 45 in Sandpoint, 55 in Wenatchee. Air quality remains good early on this morning. We are still in that good realm and likely stay there through much of the day today. And a good portion of tomorrow. We'll eventually see that air quality start to decline late in the day tomorrow as smoke moves in from the south and kind of takes over. Expect it to be almost palpable tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening. Let that serve as a stark reminder that we are still in wildfire season, and of our wildfires, more than 90% were started by people. So as you breathe that smoke tomorrow, people started those fires, and don't be those people this weekend. Don't light anything on fire. I know it's a beautiful weekend. I know it's one known for camping and having a great time, but we need to be extra vigilant this time of year when it comes to those wildfires because we are still under exceptional drought and we have plenty of fuel that just is wanting to burn.
It is time for your morning rush. More news in less time. According to the latest data on breakthrough cases, the chances of catching COVID-19 after getting fully vaccinated in Washington remains incredibly low. The Washington State Department of Health says only about 0.5% of COVID cases are people who are fully vaccinated. The state used a new method to figure this out. They match immunization information system data with new positive COVID-19 tests. Last night, a neighbor helped stop an attempted kidnapping of a 5-year-old in Spokane. It started in the West Central neighborhood. Witnesses called to report a man who had approached a kid. He then attempted to carry them away. A neighbor yelled at the man to stop and then dropped the kid and left. Officers were able to find him nearby. The neighbor then identified the suspect. Well, there are renewed warnings not to take an animal deworming drug to treat COVID-19. The Washington Poison Center says it helped at least 10 people last month with exposures to the drug ivermectin. The CDC says there were about 4,000 prescriptions a week before the pandemic. Now they're seeing 90,000 each week.
Vaccination is 90% effective. You want to prevent getting COVID, you want to ameliorate disease. it is to get vaccinated. And to think that ivermectin even comes even close to vaccination in controlling this epidemic is just absolutely wrong.
The anti-parasitic tablets are only prescribed to humans with specific types of worms. It's mainly used on animals. There's a new place to watch the Chiefs here in Spokane. The new hockey bar, Lord Stanley's in downtown Spokane, is officially open, and it will definitely be a great place to watch every Chiefs game as well as the first Kraken hockey match. That's coming up on September 26th. And that's your Morning Rush. More news in less time. Let us know what's happening in your neighborhood by using the hashtag #WithKREM on social media. Remnants of Hurricane Ida are still devastating the eastern side of the United States. This video showing a tornado in a New Jersey neighborhood. Twisters touched down in Maryland and New Jersey, prompting the National Weather Service to issue its first ever tornado emergency for the Northeast. This is what the aftermath looked like in the neighboring state, Pennsylvania. Weather Nation reporting power lines were pushed over like they were twigs. The winds from tornadoes reached 130 miles per hour. Ida could be responsible for more than $55 billion in damages when the final tallies are in, and that's according to a Bloomberg report. While the path of the storm was predicted, its strength really was a surprise. The storm dumped upwards of 10 inches of rain on parts of New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut. On Wednesday night and Thursday morning, more than half of a foot fell in a matter of just hours. A Connecticut state trooper died when his police cruiser was swept away by water. Others drowned at home when water inundated their basement apartments. In New York City, roads are still a mess, and there were lines of washed out cars along the highways. The heavy rains caught many off guard, and it trapped some drivers. Leaders in the city spoke after the rain subsided.
We saw a horrifying storm last night, unlike anything we have seen before.
It's not waves off the ocean or the sound. It is flash floods coming from the sky. It was literally Niagara Falls here.
Last night, President Biden declared federal disasters in New York and New Jersey. That clears the way for FEMA to assist in the recovery and cleanup efforts. The president will travel to Louisiana today to get a first look at the damage when the storm made landfall there on Sunday. You all know this song. The popular Swedish pop group Abba is reuniting after 39-year hiatus. When you might be able to see them perform coming up.